Greetings, magical souls. I've come on today to do a little reading for October. I feel like we're in a quite a potent energy. I mean, we know we're between eclipses, and that second eclipse is quite imminent. But there's something about this month where, I mean, it's the 10th month, so it's the ending of cycles, beginning of new cycles. And there's a feeling of that there's still stuff that is coming out and that there's still work to be done. I myself have had the last 2 days where all of a sudden things are surfacing again. I do realize that some of it I think is coming from the collective, but there's stuff that definitely is mine that I'm revisiting. And it really just feels like we're really needing to examine our lives, everything that we think we are, what we're not, what we have or have not accomplished, and just starting to, I guess, really now say, okay, who are we, where are we, and how do we want to move forward from the position that we are in? So some of the questions that came to me were, it very much seems to be an energy focused on us. And it's very interesting because if we think about it, anybody that's kind of watching this channel or following me, we are the ones that are doing the inner work. We are the way showers. We are the ones that are bringing the light in to bring forth and birth a new world. And some of the questions that I wanted to sort of ask was, where do I feel off? And if I feel off, what can help me to get almost back to my center? How do I get back to me when I feel like I'm at odds with the world around me? How do I sort of look at my standards? What are my non-negotiables? And how do I uphold them? So this is very much tying into the authentic self, breaking through all of those kinds of things. And really, what do I value most? What does it reveal about my own worthiness? So there's quite a lot to almost contemplate, and I feel like there's apparently a retrograde coming up for, I think it's Jupiter. I could be wrong. I'm not very au fait with astrology. But I was reading somewhere that there is a retrograde that's going to be coming up. I think they said around the 9th or the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. There's a sense of, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Because I'm sure that we're all feeling it. We're all feeling this energy, like this energy is going to change, like we're on the precipice of something, like there's something almost waiting for the wings, that we're just almost at the top of the hill. And as soon as we peek over, we're going to have a bit more clarity. But right now, it's kind of, it still feels like we might need to be doing something. So the questions I asked when I pulled these 3 cards were, what's near, what's far, and what's meeting us where we are. So let's see what the cards say. I'm using my beautiful Seeker Oracle. It called to me this morning. It's got lots of shamanic and totem-like animal energy in it. It's actually full of dragons and things. So, and I felt this morning like I was seeking. Right. So we've got know your labels, knowledge is power, and trust in science. So what's near, know your labels. What's far, knowledge is power. What's meeting us exactly where we are. So I look at these cards and I go, these cards are all telling me a little bit of the same thing, which is quite interesting. Know your labels. I'm going to read something out of the book because I've had this card before on my Patreon. We've drawn it for a card of the week. And it's actually a beautiful card. I'm going to dive into that a bit deeper, but the message in this card is know your labels. So who are you? Know your darkness, know your light. How do you define yourself? Know your labels. Very interesting card. And as I say, very much speaks to me because I feel like there is more shadow coming up for me at the moment. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what's there that I still haven't released? Maybe I thought I'd released it, or maybe it's just the next layer, whatever it is. There's something here that's not being released. Also see the fire burning on the tips of the wings. So what else do I need to let go of? What is holding me back? So, but I feel like this is more than just me. This could be speaking to a lot of you. That there's still stuff that we need to do. Knowledge is power. Of course, we know that. And we know that knowledge has been kept from us. So what more do we need to know? If I look at that and I go, well, maybe I need to just know a bit more about myself. Know your labels. Knowledge is power. Knowing those labels, knowing how I tick, where my shadows are, what's still unhealed, makes me more powerful in the being I am. So that's interesting. That's how I'm reading this today, when that's not really, if you read this card on its own, it might not be exactly what it means. I am going to dig a little bit deeper into the book just to see. And then I've got the other one over here, which is Trust in Science. But what immediately stands out to me is on the back of this book is the art of critical thinking. We've got reading. What's brewing. The lady herself, I'm going to just bring this up a bit closer to the camera. The lady herself is, she's got the sun on her forehead. She's got these like ram type horns. This to me is, what is your science? There's also a biology book here. So what's your science? Your physical makeup, your mental makeup, your emotional makeup. What's brewing? What's in your energy field? There's an atom there. What is growing? What are you learning? There's a key there. So the key to your expansion and your growth and your sort of evolution, that's the word I'm looking for, is tied to you knowing about yourself. So what is your science? So if I just want to read this, Know Your Labels, because it's such a beautiful card, just so that everybody's got a better idea of what this actually means. And the message is, humans are multifaceted beings. We have more facets to our nature and personality than the Drakvin has scales and feathers. To some, the Drakvin is a divine messenger, while others see him as demonic. Who can say that either label is accurate? Nobody knows but the Drakvin himself for certain. The Drakvin knows that some of his labels are dragon, him, chimera, harbinger, messenger, guide, celestial, magical, divine, ancient, creative, innovative, critical, impatient, noisy, stubborn, insistent, persistent, demanding, manipulative, devious, cunning, and absent-minded. And even that list is incomplete. Forever changing, Drakvin is more than the labels he has offered. And if you have noticed, some of the labels he embraces are negative. Drakvin chooses to be truthful about his nature, for the Drakvin is also whole, authentic, and honest. He explores his nature. He knows his strengths and weaknesses. He accepts that he has a shadow side and that he's a little bit naughty and not always nice. He also knows that he predominantly is kind and gentle. Drakvin knows his labels, and that makes him powerful. Because he knows who he is, his feathers do not get ruffled when others try to define him or limit him. He understands that there are times when the labels others use to define him are accurate, but he also knows that that's not all he is. By knowing his labels, the Drakvin knows he will never be what others expect him to be. He will always be more. Do you know your labels? And I feel for me like this is almost like the theme of this month. Have we really dug deep, and have we gotten to know ourselves truly, fully, wholly? Have we allowed that authentic part of ourselves to step out? Have we made peace with the good, the bad, and the ugly? Have we accepted the darker parts of ourselves? I love this card. It's very, very interesting. It has a very Phoenix type energy to it. It's quite beautiful. Right. Then if I just look at knowledge is power, the message here is reading, absorbing, getting information, asking questions, seeking instruction. Do what you need to do, even going back to school if there's a desire. Something to teach a genuine skill, an opportunity. Knowledge is acquired by hands-on experience, not just from books. Look for any and all opportunities to build a solid foundation of learning, even those that ask you to take a step backwards in order to move forwards and grow. Then you use your knowledge to make your life and the lives of those you love better. Having this knowledge helps us differentiate between fact and opinion, to have a critical mind, which comes back to this book, Critical Thinking, and is open to the multiple perspectives, but is also discerning. Become a seeker of knowledge. Place emphasis on your learning and use what you learn to become wise. We all know how important that is at this time with all the censorship going on. So very important. I think this ties in here also to us knowing ourselves, though. This is like an inner knowledge as well for me. This is speaking very much to, is there still work we have to do here? And then the last card is, scientists like the rest of us are not perfect. However, when it becomes clear that a hypothesis, an idea that explains a particular phenomenon or makes an educated guess, so when it becomes clear that that hypothesis is flawed, they are willing to accept that they've made an error and invest more time in further study. Here we go back to the study, the connection, knowing more. A scientist accepts they do not know everything. They do not mind being proven wrong because it is the truth that matters. Now, obviously, this has been a little bit different of late. We know that we have been told to trust in the science many, many times, and it's been almost a distraction and not entirely truthful. So I think this card is encouraging us really to do the digging, ask the questions, acquire the knowledge. Don't stop asking until you feel that you've got something that's resonating correctly for you, within you. Be discerning. But be like the scientist who knows that you're willing to accept that you may not know, that you may have been incorrect, all these kinds of things. Be sure that you are obtaining your information from the most knowledgeable source. Trust in science. Science is magic explained. So let's see if we can dive a little deeper. So I've just pulled some tarot cards. Just want to see what I get from this. Very interesting. Okay. So just thinking about knowing our labels. The Seven of Wands is, it really is a card of being uncompromising. She's in a very defensive stance here, but she has got a dragon at her back. She's got wands all around her. This is a very, very, very energetic card. The wands are always about movement and about your energy. This is also about trusting in your intuition and experience. She's ready. She's prepared. She's got a dragon. She's not being caught off guard here. And if you know your labels, you will not be caught off guard. You will be able to almost face anything that comes your way with confidence because you know yourself and you don't allow your feathers to become ruffled when the chips are down or whatever's going on around you. And what it also does is it ultimately brings in harmony. We've got the Six of Cups coming in here. And this is a card of like harmony, friendship, joy, pleasure. Could even be childhood memories, nostalgia, all that kind of thing. And you can see there's a guy loving his dragon there, and a little girl loving her dragon here. And what I'm very much getting from this card is almost an inner child thing. So again, knowing your labels, knowing what's within you, your dark, your light, knowing it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and knowing your inner child. So is there still work to be done here? Because remember, when you know yourself, you are prepared for anything. You know yourself, you can trust yourself fully. You just are very secure about where you stand. Very interesting cards. Then the knowledge is power card. We've got the King of Wands coming in. And this is normally, again, we've got a very, an energy here. So Wands is fire, it's energy. And the King of Wands is normally somebody who can burn away all obstacles. They're very talented, they're creative, they're passionate. And for me, I always like this card because even though it's a fire energy, he's in blue, and it's almost like he's very well balanced. There are dragons all around him. I think we had this card in the last reading, now that I look at it. But it's again, this knowledge is power. And if he knows his own energy and he is secure in his own energy, that knowledge is his power, because he knows how to react. He is the sort of king of his being, the king of his castle, the king of his body, all those kinds of things. And the 5 is always about change. And this is to, it can be a card of worry. You see two people are moving away from each other. There can be letting go. There can be lots of fear in this card and around change and that, but the change is sometimes necessary. And as we know, when we are trying to dive into ourselves, a lot of us have been finding that we've been having to let go of relationships and all sorts of things, attachment even to material things. And this is the Pentacles. So this is generally finances, money, earthly things. And so maybe it's also when you have the knowledge about yourself and wanting to reach this sort of state where you are the king of your castle, the king of your vessel, is there still more to be letting go of, whether it's in terms of relationships? So it's really a letting go of the earthly things. Those can be relationships, belongings, things that you're attached to in terms of material wealth, that kind of thing. Is there still anything that needs to be let go of? Because sometimes these things are like chains and they are holding us back. Because what happens is then we get stuck in the physical side, and it doesn't allow us to expand out of that and to allow the universe to deliver things to us that could be beyond our wildest dreams. So very interesting, this knowledge is power. So I guess when you know yourself, you might be finding that there's more to let go of. And I'm certainly feeling like that. It's like there's more I've got to clear out at the moment, and it's limiting beliefs. It's there are things that are still in my field that I'm not quite, that I haven't quite worked out yet. So very interesting. And then, of course, we have the Trust the Science card. What we've got in here coming in is the Knight of Swords. So we've got a very much air energy, but knights are always around movement. And this lady's got you can see her and her dragon are ready to go. She's got a sword raised. It's there's normally breakthroughs happening with this kind of card. To me, it looks like almost she's on her dragon. She's about to take off. She's got her sword in the air, and it's like she's ready to cut through anything that no longer serves her, like any obstacle that's in her way for her to get to this place that she wants to go. She's ready to cut that down. And it's very interesting because one of the themes of this month is the new energy can only come in when we're willing to pick up our sword and cut out the things in our life that no longer serve us. So this is a very, very interesting card for me. And this is a very goal-oriented card. It's It's swords, so it's air, it's mental. So it's like, how can I fix my problems? What do I need to do? It's kind of a practical approach, but very much almost a ruthless approach to go, okay, I'm just going to cut out now. I'm ready to just let go of whatever doesn't serve me anymore. So very interesting energy there. Even though it's swords, it's a very fiery energy. And then we're ending off here with the Page of Pentacles. And the pages are always about new messages of, in this case, growth. It's also of earthly things. What I find interesting about this is that it's normally growth, new ideas, opportunities, could even be new jobs and things like that. Pentacles is always normally about money and material things. But just going back to this one, we let go of maybe the things that are no longer serving us, and then we allow messages to come in of new ideas, new things that can serve us. And what are we doing is we're bringing in the new ideas into the physical realm. So when we do all the spiritual work and we do all the inner work, we then open ourselves up to the field of energy, to the universal energy that is all around us, and we allow ourselves to be inspired by new things coming in instead of just fearing what we've had to let go of. So I love this energy because it is the meaning of dreams, the book he's holding. And we've got the dragon and the cat touching noses down here. But look at all the energy that's almost swirling. He's touching the dragon's head. There are dragons around, and all this energy is going into this young page, and he is holding the meaning of dreams. And so I just still feel like there's still some letting go to be done in order for this new energy to come in. It's a very interesting time for me because it almost feels like, I do feel like we're almost at the end of the road. And I think we can all feel that. But this is very much knowing yourself, knowing your vessel. What do things mean to you? What is your knowledge? How do you get your power? Knowing your labels, knowing yourself. I don't think that all of us have uncovered our true authentic self, and it still feels like there's a little bit of work to do here. I also appreciate that we are doing some work for the collective, but I think it's important during the next few weeks and even days, maybe before that retrograde energy comes in, to do the work on yourself. I think some of us have been feeling, I had a very strange day yesterday. I felt like everything was upside down again, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And then I had a journaling session for like 2 hours, and there was more stuff coming out. So this energy definitely resonates with me at the moment. It's like there's more stuff to be let go of. There's so much here in if we can just let go of all the fear and let go of the attachment to things, there is so much in here that as we come more into harmony and alignment and knowing ourselves, that there's so much good, there's so much energy, there's going to be so much new stuff that comes in. We're going to be stronger for it. We're going to be, we're going to have inner child healing. And I think it's because we've done so much work, we've done so much letting go, that this is almost like just now, almost I'm reminded of the analogy, like if you move house and you've had a big cleanup so that you've left your home nice and clean for the next person who's going to move in. But when you've moved out, I don't know if anyone's like me, but I normally go through the house again and I just check that I haven't forgotten a cupboard. I haven't forgotten, there's nothing that I haven't forgotten a box in any of the cupboards. I haven't left any of my belongings behind, but also have I cleaned out everywhere. Like sometimes I'll open and I'll go, oh my goodness, I didn't do this little one because I forgot about it. This feels like a cleaning house, like a final check. We've actually done so much work. We're already emerging. We're already in touch with our true selves and whatever. But this is like, in these next few days or weeks, can we do a final sweep to see what might be left in the shadows within us so that we can actually know that we have cleared everything out and let go of everything that we need to let go of. So thank you for watching. I hope that's helped some of you that may be feeling this energy that I'm feeling at the moment. I think that we are almost there. So this doesn't need to be seen as anything negative. These are all actually really, really positive cards. These two are quite important for me. And I think it's all of this is about the knowledge, knowing yourself, knowing your labels. The knowledge makes you more powerful, the knowledge about yourself. So let's just go and clean. Let's just go and do that final sweep of ourselves and just clear out anything else that is remaining, anything else that is ready to be let go of. Thank you so much for watching and wishing you all a magical rest of your week.